Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Back to another week of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We are live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. They got the Corvette in the house. I'm just saying, you're going through a midlife crisis, slide on in here. You want to get back at your wife, slide on in here. You can do it all. My name is Neal. Ruhl, that guy over there, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. We have Stick on site, and we have a man that is in his bag right now. He is Sam Flannel. I saw the WoodwardSports.com chat thread saying, look out for Sam Flannel. Look out for this man. Sam Flannel, how are you feeling today on your Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl victory Monday?
Patrick motherfucking Mahomes! That's right. All of Feldman could probably hear me, but that's okay. I bought a car from them the other day. And
that's true. Nice work.
Hey,
nice work.
Hey, it's my day. And you know why it's so sweet? Because before the year, all I kept hearing about is how Josh Allen's actually the best quarterback in the league. No, he led his team to 10 points in the divisional round. Then I heard about Joe Burrow. He's the best quarterback in the league. And not only is he better than Mahomes, but he owns Mahomes. But in the AFC Championship game, what happened when Joe Burrow had the ball tied in the fourth quarter? He threw an interception, and Patrick Mahomes, although it was aided by a personal foul penalty, did ultimately lead the game-winning drive. And even before the season, remember when I was told, and we were all told, that the AFC West was just this juggernaut? The Chiefs might finish third or fourth. They might not even make the playoffs.
Oh, I forgot about that one, Sam. You remember the whole AFC West talk? I forgot about that.
I mean, the Chargers, they got Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson Khalil Mack, one of the best pass rushers of this generation. J.C. Jackson, a damn good corner. They need that defense to stop Patrick Mahomes, but they went 0-2 against the Chiefs. The Broncos, your favorite, Neal, they have a great defense led by Bradley Chubb and Patrick Surtain, and they have Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy as wide receivers. All they need is a Hall of Fame quarterback to come in, and they're a complete team. Russell Wilson was a complete disaster, 0-2 against the Chiefs. And then the Raiders, everybody's favorite, the Raiders. They got Derek Carr, arguably the best wide receiver in the league, his old college buddy Devontae Adams, and they signed Chandler Jones, one of the best pass rushers of this generation, definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. 0-2 against the Chiefs. Chiefs are 14-3, Super Bowl champions. Patrick Mahomes, second Super Bowl MVP, second Super Bowl title, and another regular season MVP. And oh, by the way, he lost Tyreek Hill in the offseason. I was told that he was going to fall off, that he was a product of Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is the fastest and most elusive player on a football field I've ever seen, and that is true.
Guy, man.
But without him, he didn't miss a beat. He had an MVP season, a Super Bowl MVP season. Who needs him? Who needs Tyreek Hill when you got guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, Travis
Kelce,
Kelce,
Western Michigan's own.
This is a great day.
7th-round draft picks at
pretty
running
much,
back.
Yes.
Sam Flannel just climbed on Travis Kelce's shoulders at the end when he said, put some respect on Kansas City's name, and he's saying that for his guy in Patrick Mahomes, which, through revisionist history, that was nice to go through the graveyard of all the dust.
I had forgotten about the old AFC West
But adversity faced, we were talking about this, and come up, was this the biggest game for Patrick Mahomes to win for his legacy? Absolutely. To me, if he's getting up to that top, he climbed it. And you bring up great points of why, because the contracts to other guys that you're not going to be able to afford. And it's the old adage of making do. So they really, with what the success was, that's a successful sort of dynasty in the 5-year era.
It was a crossroads. It was a crossroads in his legacy. Him, Andy Reid, all of it. And it came down to that. And you could hear the questions starting to be asked in the second quarter. You could hear the questions starting to be asked. And then he came out in the second half, and he was perfect.
Yep.
He was, with all apologies to Kurt Hennig, he was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, nicely done.
Thank you.
But Sam Flannel, see, that's the interesting thing, right? Sam Flannel owns Mondays. Right, he's had two really big Mondays after the Michigan Wolverines beat Ohio State Buckeyes. He had a big Monday. He has a big Monday today. But the whole thing is sort of looking back to see how you got there. Questions were answered. moving forward, about the expectations throughout, and the exciting game it was. But he's notorious for halftime blow-ups, right? How were you feeling at halftime? Were you as confident, or were you not at halftime, and be honest?
Well, of course I wasn't as confident, because in the first half it was the Chiefs defense that couldn't get a stop. The Chiefs defense actually gifted them a touchdown on a fumble by Jalen Hurts, but they couldn't get a stop to save their lives. Although I will say this, I was pretty down in the dumps, but I did tweet that in the second half, Patrick Mahomes will lead the Chiefs to points on every single one of their second half drives. No, I don't have the script, and I'm not claiming to be Nostradamus. I just wanted to speak it into existence, and that, ironically enough, is exactly what happened. It was the Philadelphia Eagles defense that couldn't stop a nosebleed. It was Patrick Mahomes and the running game that was driving all up and down the field. That is the offense that I've known and loved pretty much since 2018 when Patrick Mahomes entered the league.
No, and that's what it was. And there's a lot to unpack and everything that went down. But it was a crossroads game for Patrick Mahomes' legacy, and he won. And he was perfect in the second half.
You nail it great, Neal, and especially with what we do. And you look at this called a show sheet. But look at the way the narrative of this has just changed as it came down before it came today, because the questions at halftime were certainly different than the questions at the end of the game. But congratulations, and soak it up, Sam. You deserve it.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Sebastian Chose says, Sam needs to hit the gym. Come hit arm day with me, bro.
You know what? That is true.
That's fair.
I've been slacking a little bit. But you know what? It's not all about vanity right now. I don't care what people think. All I care about is what my wife thinks, and she still thinks I'm good looking.
And by the way, as you know what the greatest part, Stick, of that whole rant was in the beginning was when he goes, "It's okay, I bought a car here this weekend, so I can say whatever I want." Which Sam Flannel did. Bought a new Chevy Trax here from Feldman Chevrolet. Yes, so there you go. We don't just talk about it, we be about it here at Woodward Sports. Chuck Brewer says, Neal, for Sam, Mahomes is so lucky that penalty was called in his favor.
See, here's the thing. It's funny how whenever it's the Chiefs who win these playoff games, it's ref luck. If it was the Eagles who won that game, all we'd be talking about is Jalen Hurts. I'll admit it that Patrick Mahomes did benefit from the running game, basically doing anything they wanted, although Patrick Mahomes was a big part of it. They did get a defensive touchdown. They did get a 6-yard touchdown drive after a Kadarius Toney punt return, but Patrick Mahomes still threw 3 touchdown passes. He didn't turn the football over, which Jalen Hurts did once, which was a turn for a touchdown.
Which was a killer. It was an absolute killer, because they were on their way.
Yep.
Sam Flannel. KC was reeling. Make no mistake. They were caught on the ground, to put it in UFC terms. They were on the ground and they were in trouble. And they got out of it.
And I would even go to boxing terms or whatever. They were against the ropes.
Yeah,
at some point coming out, it was so imperative to score early. But and you know, earlier on in the game, did anybody go back? Because Philadelphia gave them 6 points by the pick six. So, you know, you're going to question, you know, that game had everything. I said to you walking in from the pregame to the commercials to the halftime show to the reviews to the overturn to the, you know, like it had everything there. And, you know, I know a lot of people were the penalty at the end and stuff like this. I love the fact that the player comes out and takes accountability. But I thought like that game had everything, and really that reminded me of an old school game. The way that it was called and all bundled up, where you don't get to go back and review it and clean up your mistakes like you do now in a real live game.
Right.
So it reminded me of an old school Super Bowl. I was thoroughly entertained.
No, it was a lot of fun and stuff like that. And Dom Rivera 88 on WoodwardSports.com chat thread, where you guys can jump in, tap in, get involved, and we'll get to your thoughts. Says almost the greatest Super Bowl and commercials ever till the holding call at the end. And look, was it weak? Yeah, it was weak, especially in that moment. But here's the deal. The Eagles were never going to stop them. It didn't matter if the game went to overtime. They were never going to stop them. And it was the big, bad Eagles defense, right? No sacks. It was the big, bad Eagles secondary, right? That when it mattered the most, when it was 3rd and 7 every time, they got carved up. And, you know, give the Chiefs credit, too. Here's the deal, D-Mac, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this. The good teams, and we've talked about this, you know, in the pantheon of NFL football before, because I see the Lions trending towards this. The good teams around the half, what happens? The Chiefs get the ball to start. They go down. They score. Boom. The game's back on serve. It's just that quick.
Yeah, I think more so this year, and especially at different times, is how receiving the second half kick is
So
a new
huge.
weapon, because how you can turn the field, and then you're trying to get that last possession to double dip. So I think that happens. It's more so, I think, this year, football, especially playoffs, turned into a chess match. Right, and
Yes.
it's just serve or a tennis match, volley, serve, back and forth, and who's going to make the last mistake. And still, Kansas City made a mistake. They doinked the field goal, so it wasn't a perfect game by both teams. But at the end of the day, the adjustments that were made, you use the UFC analogy, got them on the ground, right, and then mounted them and took that advantageous position to be able to submit them.
Yeah,
right?
that's absolutely how it went down. That guy 62, Sam, feeling it today. Oh, hell. A lot of talk about Sam Flannel in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. So jump in on there. Lots of love for your hoodie, too, EFOG3.
November, December child we expecting, Could you imagine the honeymoon newlyweds in the Flannel household last night after that? It's either a November baby for the Flannels. They did. Oh, congratulations on your new puppy.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, I'm proud of Sam. Because I said on Twitter, I can't wait to see how long it takes to legend kill this dog. And he said there'll be no dogs legend killed. So we set up boundaries, too. So not only does he get to celebrate, he's set up legend killing boundaries.
No question about it. And I was, I'm not huge on halftime adjustments. Like I see Brandon Katz said the Eagles made no halftime adjustments. And coaches and players both have said that the halftime adjustment is, quote, kind of underrated. And for me, it wasn't a lack of halftime adjustment. They just continued to do the same thing. They didn't dial up any kind of pressure until it was the back end of the fourth quarter. And by then it was too late. They didn't get home. What their bread and butter is, they didn't do. And it didn't help that you spotted them 6 points when Jalen Hurts just inexplicably dropped the ball on the ground. And Jalen Hurts was fantastic yesterday, except ... for that one moment. But when you're playing against Patrick Mahomes and you're playing against Andy Reid, you don't get the luxury of having that one moment.
Well, if we want to see where does play calling and coaching, whether it's Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, or whoever, look at the two similar touchdowns, the last two by Kansas City, right and left, how wide open both guys are. So to me, if you're going to look at was there an advantage that was seized, you got a check mark in the Kansas City side, because the adjustments or the film or whatever just wasn't there, because you don't see guys that wide open.
Yeah, and again, it all boils down to this. When everything was on the line, Patrick Mahomes was the best player in the NFL. Yep. And we saw it, and what was he, 13 for 14 or something like that in the second half, and the long run in the fourth quarter as well. He did it all, man. He did it all, and he left no questions unanswered.
That was the biggest thing, too, right? Where it came down, and it reminded me earlier of the Lions this year, where we were asking Hutchinson, but when you saw Mahomes take off, where he just had to run that one time, and he just got out of the way of the linemen that were chasing him, like that's the whole thing, as far as he waited to that one time to really when they needed it, and he put it on the line, so you got to give the kid credit.
How about Deebo Samuel, too? Talking about James Bradbury.
Oh, yeah.
Saying this guy's the weak link. And then how did that play out for Mr. James Bradbury? The people, too, like the Lions fans that are talking about, we need some corner help. We need some secondary help. What about James Bradbury? Nah, bro, we're good.
Well, and
we're good.
It's funny because Deebo Samuel actually can talk, because in the game that they played in the NFC Championship game, it wasn't Deebo Samuel's fault he wasn't getting the ball. They had no quarterback. Brock Purdy got knocked out early on. Josh Johnson is basically like having no quarterback. And when he got knocked out, they really didn't have a quarterback. So I'm sure Deebo Samuel was thinking, I burned him so many times. And James Bradbury, I mean, I've always thought he was – I always liked him, but he made the critical penalty. They obviously – wide receivers were running wide open all throughout the second half. So that Eagles defense that was so – acclaimed has to eat a lot of crow today, because that was their worst performance of the year.
They looked more like Swiss cheese.
They did look more like Swiss cheese.
And then they faced real quarterback, right? It wasn't they didn't face last week a rookie guy who got out in the first play, and then you said Josh Johnson. Then who they faced before that? Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Who are the best quarterbacks they faced in the NFC? Goff,
Probably.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott.
Rain.
Rain Dakota.
You know what I'm saying? So now that's also something to it. That's where the AFC is packed in those quarterbacks.
Absolutely. But hey, we talked about their defense looked like Swiss cheese,
Yes.
not Swiss insurance.
Oh, Swiss Insurance would never do anything like that, because be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose a 1/1 effective date. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance, give us a shot and you won't be disappointed. You can email them at mark@swissins.com. That is mark@swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
We're off and running here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, post-Super Bowl edition. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. Got the Corvette here in stock, 2 of them actually, in the showroom. Paulter said I could tell the story, right, of why the other Corvette is in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. A gentleman got a little too far out in front of his wife as far as, you know, hey, I'm going to go get a Corvette. Might want to run that one by, the significant other. I'm just saying, D-Mac.
I don't
It's a
know
great
how
story.
I don't know how it works in in the house of you and your 2 furnaces. I don't know if that when you have 2 furnaces, that's a different level.
No, it's not. It's the
Okay.
same as every other household in America.
Okay.
Don't show up with the Corvette at home before you talk to the wife about it.
Or without knowing that it's gonna go either way. Like
Yeah.
don't like be
Where there's some
self-aware.
question
But
to
like
it.
I mean, yes, do it if you're looking to pick a fight and you think this would get it where you want to fight in the financial level. But no, I would think in a what's that tag? $83,995
Yeah.
red one right here. You'd have a conversation.
You had the conversation at least, right?
So there's 2,
Yeah.
and there's a
We got Ryan
Mocha?
Paulter here with us.
Guys, I heard you talking about the Corvette. Listen,
Yes.
sometimes it is better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. This gentleman didn't, but listen, do not be afraid to beg for forgiveness and ask for permission and come get us.
now he's
All
doing,
right, there you
now
go.
he's doing both. Remember, one or the other. He's got
guy.
both now.
Yeah. That's okay. Sam Flannel will just come in and buy another car, Ryan. So,
Oh, yeah.
the-
Listen, the plan was to have him go home with this, but he started to think about it, but then he got a little concerned. So he bought something else, but we're glad we could take care of him.
All right, there you go. So, okay, well, there's the clarification behind it, but I'm just saying, just talk to your wife first. All right, just talk to her about it first. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel. We got Stick on site again. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet. Brandon Katz. Neal, that's a bad take. Mahomes threw for less than 200 yards. Bradbury played well. Well, Brandon, except when everything was on the line.
Yeah.
That's how the Super Bowl works, everybody. That's why I love it so much.
Yeah, does it matter that Jalen Hurts set a record for rushing?
No.
Or does all that? No,
No, none of it
absolutely
matters.
not. Who's in the back of the limo with the wrestling belt and the Lombardi
Yeah.
trophy? Like,
And it's Patrick
but
Mahomes.
here, Neal, to be fair, and this is maybe something we don't do, we keep stats differently. Other people might keep stats,
Well,
they might keep score differently. Stats aren't a part of our game. Results are.
Yeah, well, and this, too, he's the second Chiefs quarterback to throw for less than 200 yards in a Super Bowl and be MVP. Don't forget about Len Dawson.
Len Dawson, yeah, the original. They were the AFL back then. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, no, yeah. But that's what it was. What about this question, D-Mac? And sometimes, as I always like to say, you guys can program the show. And Jesse Adams on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Neal, my buddy asked 3 of us this question on Saturday. Tell me what you think. Will the Lions be in the NFC Championship game in the next 3 years? I said yes. My other buddy said no.
You know what? I think that in the NFC Championship for 3 is a little tough. I think 2 out of 3. You got to throw the misnomer in there about not winning the division in the 2 years, and I only go to that because of what the Bears could do. So I'm going to say they could, but I'd say 2.
Okay. Mike G says Flannel Sam got some name, image, and likeness money from Eddie Bauer and cocaine people. I don't know. I don't know about all that.
Adam,
I will say this: there is some difference between the Chiefs and the Lions. Some big differences. I'm not trying to rain on the parade or anything like that.
So there's going to be big difference still.
Yes.
Next year, even after improving. But you said it yourself. Why it's so important for Patrick Mahomes to win now for his legacy is because this team won't be able to stay together with what they have, whereas the Lions, with their salaries and their salary cap, can add those Clarks and those Jones pieces so that they could be closer. They're not there yet, no, but to get to the championship game, it's not the Super Bowl. We saw that. But with what other teams are doing, especially in the NFC, I think it's more likely, and especially because Brad Holmes, and we trust your guy, no slander, right?
Right.
Don't you expect them to be better next year and then to improve by 2-3 years? So this is the window for them to grab. Aren't we the team now that we hear about all the time about in 3 years you can really flip the script if it's done properly and you get your guys in the draft? Aren't we in the middle of it? Aren't we in the beginning 20% of that?
And I think if anything too, that performance by Philadelphia shows you. And don't forget, Lions played this Philadelphia team and went up and down the field on them too.
Brad Holmes hasn't made it or in a position, because we're not there yet, to make his Howie Roseman GM of the Eagles A.J. Brown move, right? You're still worried. Maybe Goff isn't, and it's not talent-wise, but comparable. Maybe he's not your Hurts that's going to get you to the Super Bowl and continue to get you back. Because what did we see yesterday? Hurts this season. Hurts is the real deal. I mean, he's the real deal, and he's gonna continue he's gonna get better, and he's gonna fix that faults, and they're gonna put that team continued around.
And that's the one thing that kind of sucks for Jalen Hurts, is that gets lost in the sauce a little bit.
But it's his career. But he's a lost in the sauce guy back to college. So to me, this is just another thing that, it's just repeating at a different level. I went through this at the college level. Because you know what? When they have a saying about handling prosperity and handling success, there is no question in my mind, no matter how much money, success, women put it, Jalen Hurts knows who he is and what he wants to accomplish, and it's leading that Philadelphia team. And to hear the owners say that, everybody there realizes, I was one of the last to the party. But that what I'm sure of. And you know what? Maybe it is lost, but I think when you do the deep dive on it, what we were seeing, because it was so close. I mean, think of the narrative that we're talking about. Right? We're not talking about inefficiency on offense, not being able to produce by Philadelphia. We're talking about their defense, their big, bad defense, but also, too, to get it over. So I think that, this Philly team's going to be tough as long as the money and the things can put together. But he's the real deal. And to me, as far as Mahomes' legacy, stepping to that next level to argue of greatness overall, Jalen Hurts moved up in quarterbacks nowadays in my ranking after yesterday and the season that he's had, and that's just the way it is, and that's why it'll be tough, right? Do I hope that we're playing Philly in the NFC Championship? Yes, or along the way. So the question is what if you don't get the right matchup, right, because of your record, and you got a Philly in the second round,
right? And
to answer the question.
Right, but we're talking about the line, too, with Jalen. Here's the line. The fumble 6, and not a lot of people are talking about that false start on 3rd and 1.
Oh,
when they were a snowplow
and then
every 3rd and 1.
And you're right. So to that point,
you can't do that.
What's the whole thing, though? We've seen with Hurts, adversity. He needed this almost get there, right? Just like he did at Alabama and all that different stuff, right? He's faced it before. And so you can question, if you're not going to question his talent, you can question, can he get them over the line? But how many questions weren't we just having this about Patrick Mahomes, right? Could he get them back over the line? So I think it's too early to hang that on him, but it's not too early to write it down and pencil and say, hey, I got to watch and see if this is it.
I mean,
Right.
I don't want to sort of be a hypocrite. Jalen Hurts did have, besides for that fumble, one of the best quarterback performance by a loser in a Super Bowl ever that I can remember. It's certainly since 2017 Tom Brady against the Eagles. So Jalen Hurts definitely played well enough to win. And if I'm Jalen Hurts, if I'm the Eagles, I'm sick right now.
You can't say that because he put the ball on the ground and gave the Chiefs a free touchdown. And you can't do it. You can't.
So you know what? He's a NFC conference champion. Not a Super Bowl champion. That's the difference.
That's the line.
That's the line between getting a ring, getting the confetti in your color, pouring Gatorade on your coach. Did you see how he leaned into the loser when he said Jalen Hurts loser? He leaned into that. But it's his day.
No.
It is his
This
day.
isn't the day to slander Jalen Hurts. It's more the day to slander the Philadelphia Eagles defense, which couldn't stop anything in the second half. But yeah, you're right. Jalen Hurts, he did make that sort of back-breaking turnover fumble that was returned for a touchdown. And like you said earlier, Neal, they were fixing to drive down the field and make it 21-7, and I think they would have won that game.
I agree with that,
so
but we'll
here's
never
the thing
know.
too, but I disagree to the point that when they needed to go down the field and score and get a 2-point conversion, who did it? You're going to make mistakes in sports. You know what? You might even have an own goal or something, but and the fumble was something when we look back, but I think that when it happened and they bounced back from it. So I'm not going to hang it, but the thing is if I'm going to say, hey, hang on to the ball. Got to work on not turning it over to be perfect. But, I mean, you can't even look at him for inadequacies of that game.
He did more than enough to make up for it, I would say. But it's the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs and that juggernaut that has been Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs for the last 5 years, and you have to be perfect to win those games sometimes, and he wasn't. But I'm not here to slander Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the no doubt best quarterback in the NFC. I would probably rank him 3 on my quarterback power rankings right now after Mahomes and Burrow, and that's crazy. Coming into the season, Jalen Hurts was written off and doubted. So this is what a year he's had. It just wasn't quite enough.
The timing's about right too, because he's going into his walk year next year. His unrestricted free agency year
$50
next
million
year.
a year
Walk.
is in his
What do you
future.
say?
And people are talking about that too in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. And Troy Fiegel says, I never understand why you pay a quarterback $45 or $50 million a year when they haven't won anything yet. It hamstrings your team. Because Troy, what are you going to do with Jalen Hurts? Is he good enough for you?
He has to be.
Because that's what the market. It's not up to you. It's up to the market.
That's
what do you do?
And as we see, though, what did we just see this year? Salary cap increased by, 16 or 18 million? So it'll continue to go up. And it's always sort of the percentage, but it is what the market bears. So, yes, he will get paid. Owner told him. Owner said that. But then that's where you hope that there's some sort of friendly deal and you have a quarterback that works with you that eventually gets the money, and that's where you come in.
And Troy says, Hurts, no, I wouldn't pay him. Well, then you're not going to the Super Bowl. What are you going to do? Who are you going to put in there?
That's the question. He did more. I mean, he had an MVP caliber season. He was second despite missing 2 games. He led them to a Super Bowl.
Because you know what? That defense proved it can't get you there on its own.
That was shocking.
Sacks.
In all
where you're at.
reality, it's the same thing as we're talking about Larkin. Right? Are you going to pay this guy that mark to what I market to because of the value to your team and also too? Do you know what I'm saying? Does it? Whereas we're talking about the high end of what you're going to offer, right? It's the same thing. What is the value to your city, to your team, and stuff like that? That might play into it.
Yeah, and it's it's intriguing to see what they're going to do. And I would back that up, Troy, and say, okay, if you're not going to pay him, then trade him. Right? Like, the second you know your hand can't win, fold the hand. Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's be real about it.
That's not happening when the owner comes out and says that he's everything we want and he will get paid. So I mean, that's just, at least you know what you're dealing with. And like I said, I think the market bears itself out. It comes down to what is that percentage to the cap that you're paying your quarterback, right?
Right.
So
Brandon brings up a good point too. Philly has 2 first-round picks, though they should take a look at drafting a quarterback. And in that but then again, you're knocking on the door winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That pick that you make could be the one that puts you over the top. That could get you a cornerback that doesn't hold in the biggest play of the game.
I mean, they were right. They were this close.
They were. That's, these are all the questions that they're going to have to answer. Hey, but if you want to work out, there are no questions to answer. Planet Fitness is the only answer to that. Now is the best time to join Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Want all the perks? The Black Card members enjoy use of the amenities, the unlimited tanning, hydro massage chairs, total body enhancement, access over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses worldwide with unlimited guest privileges. We're going to get Sam Flannel in there. Get him a couple arm days going. We're going to bulk that up just a little bit. The tanning too, so you don't blind everybody on the camera with the sleeveless flannel and all that stuff. Your fitness is essential. Fitness a key part to physical and mental wellness. Join today in club. You'll pass a couple on the way home, or jump on that computer. Go to planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Where your fitness is essential.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel in his bag today. We got Stick here in the house. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. Ask Sam Flannel. He bought a car there this weekend, right, Sam Flannel?
It was actually this past Wednesday.
This past Wednesday, okay.
Yeah, and honestly, I would totally endorse coming to Feldman, and it's not just because Woodward Sports is sponsored by them. I had a little bit of a mishap with my old one. It was kind of sudden, and when you have problems with your cars, your financial future flashes before your eyes. But I was able to get a great deal, get in and out in about 3 hours. Everyone was so professional. I worked with JP. Ryan Palter, of course, is the sales manager. I would recommend it 10 times out of 10, and now I'm feeling good and ready to just get my life back on track.
Did you have to get a bigger vehicle because you added a member of the family? What is the dog's name, by the way?
Jake.
Jake?
Yes.
That was my first dog.
There we go.
Golden Retriever.
No, that's a great name. A strong
name. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
what'd you get?
I got a Chevy Trax 2020.
Nice. Nice.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Tammy Chin. I'm going to take a moment to say this. Great job, Neal. Loved your television segment with Wayne Larrivee. Just remember the chat room when you make it to the big time. No, Tammy, I'm going to change my number, my address, everything. All of it. All of it. Everyone's going to call me. It'll go straight,
He already started, man. I pulled in front of him today, and then he's like walking in, and I was opening the door, and he's like, yeah, thanks. Oh, D-Mac.
No.
Yeah, there it is.
Darren.
Darren.
Good to see
fine
you.
to see you at this establishment.
No, I appreciate it, Tammy. Thanks for watching it. Pretty cool. It was pretty cool, too. Like Wayne Larrivee, man. Voice of the Packers, Big Ten, all the Big Ten for all those years. So it was pretty cool to sit down and share a microphone with him. we gotta get into it. And D-Mac, I thought about you instantly when I saw the penalty flag fly out at the end of the game against James Bradbury. Did the Eagles get robbed? I mean, in the moment, I was like, that's really weak, and I still feel as though it was kind of weak. But at the same time, I know what was happening in that game, dude. They were never going to stop Patrick Mahomes. They weren't.
It just goes to the conspiracy theory of the rigged and stuff. But no, here's the whole thing. You know the old adage and sort of like I was raised, let them play?
Yes.
That was a question of scruples and officiating right there. Because by letter of the law. And I thought yesterday they when the ball was in the air, right? Some games are just like, all right, where's the flag coming from? Before even the guy's going to catch, you don't even know the guy's open, but you know that any little thing they're going to call it. Yesterday they let these guys play, right? And you didn't see that even on some of the, the passes, to Parker that was ruled out and different things like that. So I thought they were going to let him play, and my immediate reaction was like, oh, really? But it wasn't as sort of the audaciousness, and it was along the lines of the Cincinnati linebacker pushing. Letter of the law, you call it, but didn't have to be called to make it. But, I respect Bradbury coming out and saying I did pull him, because here's the thing, you can't hide. So they go to close-up replay, and we say, yeah, letter of the law, and I don't know, it's just unfortunate because of the result and what it meant. Right? Because what it meant right then was the clock would be able to kill that. Then he knew there wasn't a shot of them coming back. If it would have been something where it kept them minute left and they had to kick a 45-yarder that Butker missed before, maybe
you want to know my only problem was with it? Because this happens, and you see it all the time.
Yeah.
My thing was, all right, you see it happen, you go to grab your flag, and the first thing I looked was to where the pass landed. And there was no shot that he was getting to that football. There was no shot that she was going to.
So that was a question of scruples then.
And they do it all the time, guys. I see it in basketball all the time. Yes, they will check and see if the shot goes in, then they won't blow the whistle. But if it doesn't go in, they will, and they'll let them go to the free. That's just the way that it works. I know that's not, quote, letter of the law, and if it's a foul, then it's a foul. That's not the way the real world works, guys.
So whoever the referee or the linesman or whoever made that call did not process that. Some other guys use that in their process.
100%.
Right? It's
100%.
the same as
and
retaliation.
You know this. It's happened in the NHL. It happens in basketball. It happens in football. Officials will go to the scorer's table. I've heard it. I've heard it happen at a football game before. Hey, how many penalties have we called? It happens, guys. And yes, it's exactly what you said. It wasn't processed. To me, it doesn't make a difference in the outcome of the game because the Eagles were never going to stop that man. You know how I know? They never stopped him in the second half.
Well, and that's where Eagles fans and players, and I haven't heard a ton of Eagles players say it, but fans need to sort of look in the mirror of your team if you want to find out why you actually lost. When that questionable penalty happened, the Chiefs were going to get a go-ahead field goal anyway. They were just going to leave some time on the clock for the Eagles to go down and possibly score, and with the penalty, it made it so that the Chiefs could basically kick one without any time on the clock. But the Eagles gave up 38 points. They lost the turnover battle, and they also gave up a 65-yard punt return to Kadarius Toney on a terrible line drive punt that set the Chiefs up with a 6-yard touchdown drive. And in the second half, they did not stop the Chiefs one time.
No.
The Chiefs had 4 drives, 24 points. The Eagles have nobody to blame but themselves. If they would have just gotten one stop, they win the game. If Jalen Hurts doesn't turn that football over, they win the game. They might win the game if the punt wasn't a line drive and Kadarius Toney didn't return it all the way to the 6. They did too many things that in the Super Bowl you cannot do and still win. Was that call a little bit weak? Maybe. But even James Bradbury admitted, I held him. And I give him a lot of credit for that.
I do too.
Yes, Eagles have no one to blame but themselves.
I give Bradbury a lot of credit. I just won't give him a contract.
And that's fair. And the reason I like why he did that is I kind of feel like it took a lot of the anger out of people. Because
social media was looking for a pound of flesh.
Well, and that's the thing.
They were looking for a pound of flesh, and he kind of diffused all that.
Yes, in hockey, when you're talking referees or penalties, like, if the other team gets 3 penalties and you go on the power play 3 times in a row, you automatically know that we call it the old even up. You get 4, you know it's going back the other way. If there's 5, unless it's malicious, right? That's what it is that they just might call it a little bit more liberal to the team that hasn't had the power plays to try to get it, so that at the end of the day they rather see it like 6-2 or than 7-0. Right.
Yeah, and that's what they do. For me though, I probably would have ate the flag once I saw where the pass ended up. It was all the way back to the corner of the end zone. He wasn't getting there for that.
I mean, even though it was defensive holding, and by the letter of the law, it doesn't matter if the pass was catchable or not. You're saying that even though that is technically a letter of the law, that officials will swallow their whistles. Juju Smith-Schuster, we all know he wasn't catching that ball no matter what. He's not a speed burner. But like I said, James Bradbury.
But in the end, it didn't matter. Yeah, everyone's getting all fired because guess what? They would have scored anyway.
Yep.
And guess what? They would have continued to score. And every single time that it happened, although it is funny how everyone complains about the overtime, that basically was overtime at the 2-minute warning.
Yep.
And the Chiefs, and people were talking about it here on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Let's go Red Wings Sparty. It's funny hearing everyone complain about the Chiefs running back going down before the end zone. Such a big play that not many people are talking about. We talk about it on this show all the time.
You could hear it in the inflection of the announcer, too, about get down. But that's smart heads-up football, too.
Troy also says Flannel Sam looks like Justin Bieber now. Is that fair, Stick? You were in the pop music world Is he giving you Justin Bieber vibes right now? No, he ain't.
Oh man, I feel like that was an upgrade from what they usually say about me.
Yeah, so people continue to talk about Sam Flannel and his incredible Hulk look and everything like that. Namahe says, do you think Andy Reid retires now or comes back? He says he's coming back. He said that. He said definitely yesterday that he was coming back. So. And I don't know. I know a lot of the side talk turns to Eric Bieniemy and why isn't he getting a coaching job and all that kind of stuff.
I think he's happy where he is.
There's worse spots to be.
See him get his flowers.
Yeah, there's worse spots to be. You're always going to win. Mm-hmm. As long as you got Patrick Mahomes, you're always going to win, or at least be in the winning mix. And and when Andy Reid ever does decide to step away, the show goes on, right? You've got to figure you get a good look at getting that job.
There, right? You're talking about how this team, it's going to get tougher. Not only guys get older and move on, but the contract-wise. So the continuity and the coaching staff, sometimes when you've won, makes it easier, right? You want to stay. Okay, let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. D-Speed says, chances the league told him to come out and say he held him. Well, yes, he did. It did not alter the movement and was weak jersey tug. I hate that the game ended like that. Judging by the way they were talking about the field conditions, no chance. No chance the league went to him and said, hey, to kind of take responsibility for that. I know if you have a big project, though, and you want to take responsibility for it getting done on time with the right equipment, who's the phone call?
There's only one to call. That's Alta, because at Alta, uptime matters. Alta equipment is everything you need to get the job done, like a bog project. You got one of those coming up, give Alta brand a call. They got you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Bowling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. There are 2 ways to play. You got $12 unlimited open play or $120 lane reservation for up to 10 people. They also have a $2 mystery beer machine and a full bar. You can bring any kind of food you want. Check it out at the Bowling Warehouse, or you can visit them online at bowlingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live from Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, the official Chevy dealer of Sam Flannel and his beads and chest hair. My name is Neal Ruhl. This guy over here, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. As we said, the aforementioned Sam Flannel. Stick is here in the house on the 1s and 2s. You know everything is smooth with an F when Stick is out here. We have all of you, the WoodwardSports.com chat thread as well. Still lots of discussion about Sam Flannel. LFG says, did the alien inhabit Flannel Sam's body? No, I don't know about all that.
We don't know. Maybe that's what was over Lake Huron, dropped down. Maybe it's Sam's people coming to pick him up.
Who knows?
And they left, and we shot him down. I don't know.
Pete Smith says, Sam Flannel looks like an extra from the Saved by the Bell summer vacation special.
I like that one better than what I usually get. I get roasted pretty bad.
No, you know what he is? He's Screech's summer camp buddy that we see when Screech goes to summer camp. Remember Screech and Flannel? It's a throwback Stick. Throwback. Kapowski on.
Mike G says, Sam Flannel wants to talk about Chad Henne retiring a Super Bowl champion. Go Blue.
You know what? I'll tell you what. He led 2 very, very important playoff drives in his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. Actually, more than 2. And the one where he had to come in against the Cleveland Browns a couple of years ago, he made the throw to Tyreek Hill to clinch the game. He led a 98-yard touchdown drive to make the score 17-7 against the Jaguars. So Chad Henne, he was kind of the perfect backup QB the last few years. He's lived the American dream. Good for him.
Yeah, that absolutely. Hey, good work if you can get it, man.
Yep.
I did have a question, too, about this whole catch stuff. And the one that really jumped out to me was the Devontae Smith one along the right sideline. And it turned out to be big, right? Because they ended up not getting a touchdown when it looked to me like it was a catch. It was ruled a catch on the field. Here's my question, and I'll never understand it, and nobody can make it make sense. So I guess it's not a question. I guess it's more of a declarative statement, but whatever. He had it. He hit the ground, right? He had it, right? Are we in unison here? He had it, got 2 feet down, right? We can all agree?
Yes.
Had it like controlled, like kind of like against his helmet or whatever. Hit the sideline with his elbow first initially, right? Elbow, forearm. Aren't you down? Out of bounds? Aren't you down? Doesn't it stop there? Why do you have to survive the ground out of bounds? You're out of bounds. If you ran to there and you cut and you touch the sideline, you're out of bounds and the play's over, right? It ends right that second. Why is it different?
I was just as confused as I was when the Calvin caught it in Chicago, where that wasn't a catch. I don't know. I mean, I think that's the question is nobody knows, right? Because that's as confusing.
I want
and
the
thing
explanation.
Is, why are the rules in play different, going to the ground different than out of bounds, right? It's almost like the out of bounds, it's fire, and the minute you're in the fire, you have no room for air, or you'll burn, right? Where if you stay in the field, you're allowed to, ground can't cause a fumble, you're allowed to, how many times do I see, he had possession of it even though it looks like it hit the ground. So.
Yeah, WoodwardSports.com chat there. Brandon says he has to survive the ground. He didn't. No, he did. He was down with the ball, and his forearm and elbow, which counts as being down, made contact with the sideline. Boom, play over.
The
play
rest
over.
of it.
You're out of bounds. Plays over.
Hit the ground.
I could see it in the field of play. It's over. If you step there, you're out of bounds.
I mean, yes, I know that you're trying to make logical sense of it.
Yes,
but
thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Well, and I just have kind of always seen a catch the way that I've sort of learned how a catch is legislated. He didn't survive. He didn't complete the process, as they like to say.
No, he did. He had it, and his elbow was on the ground on the sideline. You're out of bounds. The process is over.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that's how the NFL has sort of legislated things. And when I saw what all happened, how the ball kind of moved and was loose at the end, I knew they were going to overturn that.
And they're saying like he didn't have possession when he hit the ground. Nobody did. When he made contact with the sideline, he's out of bounds and the play's over.
Do you think that was at all? And I know it's game to game, but remember when Devontae Smith got away with an obvious drop on the fourth down play against the San Francisco 49ers on their first touchdown drive? And if it was called a drop, the 49ers would have got the ball at midfield. I remember thinking when this play happened, is Devontae Smith going to get away with another one? But that was more of a catch than the one before. I just know how the NFL has called it, so I wasn't kicking and screaming. But hey, if it would have been Kadarius Toney or Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe I'd be singing a different tone. I'll admit it, I got biases.
Of course, I don't get it because again, D-Mac, if you ran there and did it, you're out of bounds and the play's over. As soon as you make contact with the out of bounds line, the play's over.
Got a great idea. You got a hockey question? This guy. Football. I might save that one and put it in the back of my mind if I ever ask Roger Goodell.
Yeah, that would be my question. It just seems very simple to me, but I guess I'm overanalyzing it, right? That's what Stick told me. You can't bring logic to this discussion. I guess that's the point. So, I don't get it. Chuck Brewer says, inbounds, the play continues. Out of bounds, you lose control and can't regain it. But the play's over because you touch the out of bounds line with the football. Play over.
Right.
Play over.
Stop.
We don't get to hear.
No, we don't.
Play's over.
I'm following you, bro. I'm following you.
Yeah, and I wish that they would clarify that. But I was told that officiating in the NFL has, quote, never been better. Those were the words of Roger Goodell.
Those were the words
at the
of Roger
State
Goodell.
of the League address at the Super Bowl, D-Mac. So which is it?
Can't understand why the richest league in the world doesn't have permanent officials. Like permanent paid officials are all part-time. How do you get better? And because it's not about the people teaching them. It's not about the people watching the video, making the calls. It's guys that are out there in the heat of the action. So I don't know. That one just baffles me. And it's almost like it has to become, and not that the NFLPA has any control, but it's got to become a PA issue. As important as the money they fight for.
Yeah, I would just like to see somebody kind of press the league on that and say, yes, Roger, Neal Ruhl, Woodward Sports. Hey, what's a catch?
Been trying to figure that one out for a while. But can't we all agree at least that as far as playoff games this year have gone, I thought this Super Bowl was pretty well officiated, all things considered. They kind of stayed out of the way and let them play for the most part, except for at the end when James Bradbury, a tug that probably had no impact on the play, was called. But for the most part, it was a better officiated game than the conference championships and games before.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Michael Lucci said, I take a shot every time Neal says, I was told. If I did that, I'd be dead from alcohol poisoning for over a year.
Here, slow down. When we say factual, just go to beer. I mean, lay out the shots. You don't have to, like Neal, tell him you don't have to get the hard stuff every time. It's about pacing. You can mix in, a seltzer or something, can't you?
Yeah. I mean, you can do whatever you want. And Michael, I would say this. I didn't say it. Roger Goodell said it. Why are you mad at me? I was told that NFL officiating is the best it's ever been. Take another shot.
He did say it.
I can only go by what people tell me, especially the leaders of the organization.
I heard
That's
the
all
same
I can
interview.
Do.
I heard the same interview. And it's
okay,
sort of like,
so you were told also.
Yeah. But again.
We were told.
I don't know how they run this NFL stuff. I not run around those circles. Just as I know it's confusing because, Super Bowl ads and stuff like this I'm a part of, but no, I'm just a big fan.
Yeah. And that's fine. People Pleaser says the NFL doesn't change until fire is at their feet. So I guess that could be it. I just don't know. I just wish that we would get some more concrete, hard in the line explanations / definitions of what a catch is. I just don't understand why it's different. Why out of bounds changes if it's a pass catch than if you run there. Because it seems the same to me. And I'll never understand that. So people can say what they want. Mike G says, I was also told that Chris Ilitch is pleased with Alavila's performance as well. Remember that? That was a great time. That one was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
A lot of living in the past. We move it forward. Let's go forward.
We are. Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word. It's about helping fight the stigma associated with seeking help. If you are struggling, go to thesportsma.com. If someone you know is struggling, thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency, they're here to help.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. You want to be like Sam Flannel? Come here and buy a car. Sam Flannel did it last Wednesday, as a matter of fact. He's happy with his purchase, and more importantly, the process. That's what's funny to me about car buying, Sam.
Yeah.
It's like everybody, prices are prices, man. Like they're pretty much comparable everywhere. You talked about it. You pretty much got in and out of here. That's what's valuable to me, man.
I mean, and in 3 hours, I got a car in one day. I heard all kinds of horror stories, and not to put too much of my business out there, but I was a little upside down, and they still gave me a good deal, and I didn't have to make much of a down payment. So all credit to Feldman. I definitely wanted to make sure to give them their flowers before I left here today. It was the best car buying experience I could have ever asked for, and I've quite frankly ever had. Very, very grateful.
There you have it from the man himself. Just get past the beads and the sunglasses and the chest hair and take it at face value. WoodwardSports.com chat thread as we roll up to the second hour here. Mike G says, D-Mac, I'm a Michigan fan. All I do is live in the past. I'm putting on my leather helmet as we speak.
Yeah. Mike, you should keep that on for your own safety, bud.
Yeah. Absolutely. Real quick, too, I just wanted to get everybody's thoughts because I don't know how to feel. The commercials yesterday, other than D-Mac's commercial being everybody's favorite here in the Detroit area, other than that one, which we know that one was goated on the sticks.
Sure.
What was that like, by the way? How long does it take to shoot a Super Bowl commercial?
That was like probably our part were 8 hours.
Yeah.
In total and stuff. But it was easy. Sitting around with Gibby and Rick and just like in there where he's like, calm down. Like, I mean, that's Rick Mahorn and I's relationship. He's always busting my chops. Gibby's
so he does it to you, too.
What's that?
He does do it to you, too, even.
Oh yeah. Oh, he always.
Rick
does
Mahorn
everybody.
Is the biggest ball buster.
Biggest bully.
Ever.
Biggest bully.
Ever.
With the biggest heart.
Yeah.
Love him to death. And
greatest ball buster ever.
With the biggest heart. No, it is. Like but it's almost like one of those guys, if he's not doing it, you wonder what's wrong. But it's also Neal to sit around with Barry and Gibby and Rick and like these are guys that I grew up idolizing as a Detroit sports fan, just much like you. So I think the whole just the interaction and then small fact, we shot at Sneakers Pub in Ferndale. Been there before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so great ambiance in there, and the Sklar brothers were in, so I can't speak highly enough about the experience and the Bernsteins is that. But did you want to know what my favorite commercial was? Because I thought I loved it. yesterday was all about the nostalgia. And my favorite commercial, like there was two. My favorite one was probably the Breaking Bad, the Dr. Poppers or Doritos or whatever.
That one was pretty good. I forgot about that one.
Just because they went back nostalgia-wise. Also, The Flash showing you that Michael Keaton's reprising his role as Batman, and we want to live in the past or the pop of 30 years. I am Batman. Like that, and I did like the Dunkin' Donuts at the end with J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Oh, this is where you go to work. Like we can all relate to it because it's like you're getting crap, but it's also she's like, don't forget to give me that latte. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, while I'm here, stuff like this. So I thoroughly enjoyed them as they went on, and I thought they were better than on whole than most years.
Yeah, for me, the one that really got me was the Tubi one.
Oh yeah.
So I was traveling the weekend, so I went over to my parents' house yesterday to watch the game, and they have Hulu television. And so like I've never used Hulu, so like I don't know anything about it. And when the Tubi commercial came on, and then the menu starts flipping through, I'm like, Mom, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah,
Like
it caught me, too.
100%.
I thought I dropped the remote, cats were on her and stuff like that. Oh, small shout-out in there to the Crown Royal Dave Grohl commercial, giving Canada props. That was pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
No, I agree. The M&M's one getting some hate. What is it? It's Maya, what's her name? Maya Rudolph. Am I the only one that just, I don't understand it?
I agree.
Like I don't understand the people think she's funny. Like I don't get it.
Mid.
Thank you.
Very mid.
Thank you, Sam Flannel. I'm not here to legend kill. I'm not here to do that. I just don't get it.
I'm a bigger fan of hers than you guys. I think it's
that's
not
fair.
I mean, holy cow! Sam's just stomping on graves over here today. Was there bad one? Like, was there really one that you didn't? I going back and hearing like the one where. With Ozzy Osbourne and the rock stars, Paul Stanley, all the different guys.
That one was pretty good too.
Workday or whatever, but might be confused. I heard rock stars as much as I heard Workday. I wasn't sure what commercial that was, but it was cool.
Yeah,
EV commercials of the EV vehicles. How about the Ram one? About the range? That was pretty.
Yeah.
So the innuendos were pretty good.
EV seemed to take all the crypto spots from last year. Didn't see any crypto ads this year, did you? How's that portfolio looking there, Stick? The crypto portfolio.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Wow, way to bring it down, even to Sam Flannel's level.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joy.
But they were though. I thought that they were pretty good. Halftime show, liked it.
Yeah.
You forget how many bangers Rihanna made.
It was
for
a
real.
duet, and it was a duet too. I didn't know with the baby bump, but it was bang. And hey, I was intrigued by like seeing how they hang, how they do the set and stuff like this. And where I was watching it, somebody asked, "Well, do they get paid for that?" And no, but they pay for the production and stuff. And I thought it was great. I was entertained. Last year, I was more up and rocking around because of nostalgia. But this year, I think it was great. And everybody to see Rihanna back is because I think Rihanna's one of those stars that everybody likes.
Yeah, Spenmo Wax My Face says the halftime show was mid. But then Let's Go Red Wings Sparty says Rihanna has straight bangers. And that's what I thought, too. Again, and Stick can speak to this. He was in that genre before. It's just that you don't realize how many hits she had till she starts rifling through them. And that's the case like with a lot of the halftime performers. You don't realize it until they start firing through all of them. So, I thought it was good.
It's like global appeal, right?
Right. Yeah, I thought it was good.
And then brought out, all I see is Chris Stapleton and Large Capital. That might be one of the best national. I've heard a lot of national anthem renditions.
Yeah.
And I think, what did somebody say, 240?
Is that what it was? So it did make it.
Blasted it out.
Yeah.
There's the bet. Oh, which, by the way, how was your gambling?
No.
Did you win any squares? Did you pick up any pools? Did you win any prop bets?
Never win squares, dude. My wife, what's funny about that my wife at her work, if the Eagles would have got that touchdown before half, she would have won. If they would have got the touchdown and kicked the extra point, they would have won. That's how I knew that call was going to get
By the way,
overturned.
Stick, I owe you one. Stick, who ended up winning in our
JB's uncle won 2, Justin won 1, and Chad won 1.
All right, there it is.
The rich get richer. I love it.
Yeah, so Ryan says no one's talking about ratings this year. They're not out yet. I got a feeling they're going to be high. And here's how I judge it, too. When I drove home from my parents' house, there was a lot of traffic on the roads. At like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, there was a lot. So my guess is a lot of people were locked in.
Coming from the mountaintop down.
No, I was driving back up to the mountaintop.
Oh!
I grew up from humble beginnings.
I forgot.
I had to drive back up the mountain to go. I come down the mountain to go visit the people, and then I retreat back up the highest point in Macomb County.
That other people leave up where you are, the altitude, the elevation. They leave it for the festivities.
The highest point in Macomb County.
Hey, shout out to Rake. Dude, his bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers were slapping. And they're ace. And Spenny, you missed out. There was so many pigs in a blanket. It was unbelievable.
We had some at the spot we were at too. The pigs in a blanket.
Best thing you ate.
Yeah.
Was that? Did you anything new come across? Appetizer or something that you? I had a really good buffalo. Like it's not old, but a buffalo dip. Somebody made this buffalo cheese dip or whatever like that. It was awesome.
Spinach dip was pretty strong. I did relax the requirements. I went a little more carb heavy than I might. I turned it up a little bit.
You did.
I did.
You turned it up?
I did. I turned up a little bit
Sam,
more.
how was your pizza, your 2-liter Coke and grenadine?
Oh, man. It was amazing. It was slapping. It's funny, though, during the game, I get so nervous that sometimes I don't even want to eat.
Oh, wait. At what point in the game did you go into the other room?
When the Philadelphia Eagles scored that first touchdown. I stopped. It was at about 6:50 or so, and I didn't turn the game on again until 8. I missed all.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked. Oh, you guys weren't here.
Yeah,
we talked about this. That if at any point there was trauma. So what alerted you to turn it back on? Did you just go in at halftime to turn it back on, or did you wait till they scored after half?
I didn't even know what was going on in the game. I picked a designated time until 8 o'clock.
So when did you turn it back on?
Wait a minute, but wait, I heard you, Stick. The reason I was able to talk about the game is because I've got like 1.5 hours of sleep last night because I went back and watched some of the replay highlights. I know what went on in the game. I didn't miss that much.
Clomp Sauce said he had hush puppies, coleslaw, potato salad, hell of a spread. Hush puppies, huh?
Oh, love that. That's Long John Silver's, right?
Yes.
I could go for a hush puppy.
I bet the food was pretty good, too. Giovanni Moscheri says, Mom made prosciutto bread. You can't go wrong with prosciutto bread, too.
Prosciutto.
That one is strong as well. But, yeah, the bacon-wrapped jalapenos and all that kind of stuff, people were getting it in. Clomp Sauce, Neal missed the 135-pound pig. I don't know about all that. Lots of talk about lasagna. Pete Smith, do you put hot sauce on hush puppies or just ketchup?
Both, or hot. I go just hot sauce or both, but mustard and hot sauce
on a hush puppy.
Fuck yeah! Fucking get her done. Get her done.
Oh man, WoodwardSports.com chat thread.
Can't be scared of that, and and I think that that was the best. Like, and I said it before, Neal, but I think out of recent memory, from beginning to end, like that was one of the best productions of keeping me entertained and not wanting to change the channel, from the commercials to the entertainment to everything else surrounding about it. It just seemed like I said it earlier, it just seemed like a throwback. Remember, but Sam doesn't remember this. Stick will. Remember when you didn't have a choice? Because you couldn't change. You only had 3-4 channels to choose from. So you had to leave it on.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread Tammy Chin. Don't forget, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. You can thank me later. And you know what? I'm stunned by that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tammy. I'll thank you now and I'll thank you later because I completely forgot about that.
What is?
Tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
What's that? That's cool.
We went through this before,
I
D-Mac.
know.
I can't remember. Was I in with you that day when we talked about it? You might not have been. Because my wife's not into it at all.
No, mine either. Not of these days. But you got to get something. You better leave something.
That doesn't give me license to not get something.
No, you have to get something. And just leave
But she doesn't
something
want
there.
it.
No, but that's not up. But that's not up to you to decide.
We'll discuss that tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll discuss that tomorrow.
Anyways, to get ready for your date or whatever with your significant other, your loved one or whatever, you might as well come to Lady Jane's. Not only you get an award-winning haircut experience, you can also register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the down payment for your dream home. Up to $200,000. I said at $200K. That's Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty. We have Stick. We have Sam Flannel. Sam Flannel's in his bag today. His guy, Patrick Mahomes, got the job done. Ghetto Pat says Travis Kelce had the best touchdown dance ever at a Super Bowl. People were also asking, will Travis Kelce get fined? And you know what? I do have to give Travis Kelce a lot of credit because, as he said in the postgame, no one in the world gave the Kansas City Chiefs a shot in this football game. They won against all odds.
In the season, they were even saying.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance all season long. They overcame all the obstacles. Nobody believed in them. They weren't even supposed to be there, Sam Flannel, according to Travis Kelce.
The thing is, though, is that a lot of times when that happens, when you're a team that's obviously been perennial winners, already won a Super Bowl, been to 4 consecutive AFC championships before this season, it's kind of manufactured and you kind of roll your eyes. But this year, the Chiefs were the one that sort of
had a chance.
That lost some players. They lost Tyreek Hill, they lost Tyrann Mathieu, and everybody else kind of loaded up.
And they were only like the 3rd favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Hey, there were a lot of people, though, at this network, on other networks, that were writing the Chiefs off. Some people picked them 3rd or 4th in the division before the year. And here they are again, winning a Super Bowl. And speaking of Travis Kelce, he's another guy that deserves a lot of flowers today. I believe that he is a top 5 receiver in NFL history as a tight end. And I'll die on that hill.
You know what? Real talk. Postseason?
Second to Jerry Rice ever.
I mean, for real. It is. I don't like the nobody believed in us bit, but you can't argue the resume.
Well, Yeah, and like I said, he has 7,000-yard seasons as a tight end. The next closest has 4, and he is second in postseason receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns to Jerry Rice. The Mahomes-Kelce combo is, when it's all said and done, it's going to be the greatest quarterback-receiver combo ever, even above Montana and Rice.
Well, I think the present day, where there's a lot of argument that Kelce or Kittle or who's the best, and Travis Kelce, the consistency to what he's saying, we're not only talking about in this day and age, we're talking about all time. And it's legit, and you could absolutely be right. Now, you may not, there may be somebody else in there, but there's not 3 or 4 more guys we're forgetting, right? So he's definitely top 5, and he's not done yet.
No, over 10,000 yards in his career, 69 touchdowns.
10,000.
He's going to be 34, though, next year.
Yeah, so he's got, a couple years left, probably 2 more. Probably when the ship starts to, what are they going to do when the nucleus of what this team that has been a part of these four championships and 2 Super Bowls.
Bob's Big Boy asked the question,
ooh, hey, Bob.
Kelce or Prime Gronk?
Kelce. And I get that Prime Gronk was one of the most unstoppable forces in NFL history.
I'm with you.
But, I mean, the thing is, that is part of it. Rob Gronkowski missed a lot of the Patriots playoff runs. He missed a lot of games in the regular season. He was a monster as a tight end. But Travis Kelce, it's the consistency. He did it when he had Alex Smith as his quarterback. He's doing it right now. And one of the sort of marks of a great all-time player and an all-time champion is he is the greatest tight end in NFL history just for what he's done in the regular season. He's been even better in the playoffs. He might break Jerry Rice playoff records. That's insane.
No, it is.
I agree they both make everybody better. I take Kelce, and this is like, it's what he means to everybody else, and you could see it, what he's meant to Patrick Mahomes as what, like Tom Brady's sort of that. Gronk was his guy, right? So, but Tom controlled him. Gronk go here, Gronk go there. Kelce sort of mentored Mahomes into the leadership, right? You know what I'm saying? He's more, to me, the team guy, the dressing room, not the party guy, where Gronk's role is perfect because he can be with what he's been around, where Kelce's has to be more of, I guess, the big brother adult.
No, and I'm just happy that, against all odds, Travis Kelce is doing this too, because nobody ever gives him credit for being a good player, but yet there he is, somehow, some way, finding a way to win the Super Bowl.
The little engine that could. No,
absolutely. He never quits.
Nobody ever said that. Nobody ever shortchanges the Kansas City Chiefs. But I do feel like there were too many people that were disrespecting the Chiefs before the year, and even as the year went on, even in the playoffs. How many people picked Cincinnati to beat them? There are people that called it Burrowhead. Not a ton, but they did exist.
The mayor of Cincy did.
The mayor of Cincinnati did.
Jabroni.
And that was weak. He's out there calling him a jabroni. I know D-Mac would like that.
But how weak was it by the Cincinnati mayor?
I'm all about it. And the mayor took it and said, you know what? I deserve that. So there you go.
That's fair.
Back in your hole. That's what it's all about.
No, I thought that was pretty funny, though, that he's up there on that stage talking about how they're the ultimate underdog and no one gave him a shot.
They're not the ultimate
when
underdog.
They opened as a 2.5-point favorite. By the way, Vegas knows, right?
Vegas does know.
They always do. So, there it was. Adis 411 says Tony Gonzalez was the greatest tight end.
Yeah, we're talking about playoff receiving guys or playoff, even tight end. Yeah, Tony Gonzalez too. But what Kelce's done in the rings he's got says he's not.
I mean, it stands to reason. He's got 10,000 yards. He's gonna be pushing 100 touchdowns. So come on, man.
I mean, I have a lot of respect for Tony Gonzalez, but the thing about him that I think is an argument, he obviously has a lot of longevity, but he's kind of a compiler. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. The tight end position has obviously evolved, and Travis Kelce, guys like him and Gronk have a lot to do with it, but he didn't put up those eye-popping numbers in the regular season. I mean, he did a few times, but not all the time. And playoff success, that really wasn't a thing with Tony Gonzalez. Not his fault, but that's just facts.
No, that is true. But yeah, and certainly too, they kind of led a revolution at the position, and I think we can all say it. We just wait for T.J. Hawkinson to put on the show and catch up.
He had a Pro Bowl season. He had a Pro Bowl season.
Eric Ebron, just wait for him. I know. I knew that it was always going to take a turn to that. Then the final thing, and we'll wrap up the Super Bowl thing. I do want to talk Detroit Red Wings. They're back to teasing again and all that kind of stuff. Game in Vancouver tonight. Dylan Larkin showing up. We're gonna get to it in a couple seconds. I will say this: my overriding takeaway with the Jalen Hurts thing, even Patrick Mahomes, speed is the new power in the NFL. And yes, Jalen Hurts is a quote unquote bruiser and gets those tough 2 yards, but he is deceptively fast, and speed is what matters. And that's why, the Jamison Williams thing, man. I could see him becoming just a huge factor next year for this Lions team because he represents that.
Well, you saw it. It wasn't, as much as it was. There was the ground and pounding on the third and ones and the short yardage in this, but there was running going on, right? There were lanes going on. There was deception and movement and the elusiveness. And like I said earlier, to Patrick Mahomes' credit too, when he needed to, he's just fast enough to evade guys. So we saw it firsthand this year. We're talking about Jalen Hurts and his speed and his elusiveness. We bore witness to it, but that seems obviously the way that they officiate and the way that the NFL's going, that seems more of a priority. So, but we're all on it. Everybody's on it that they want to get that guy, but you need that mobility. That's why I thought that Philly would be successful, because they have more of a two-headed monster back there, and their quarterback is just as big of a, if not bigger, running threat.
Yeah, and that is kind of where your heart breaks for Jalen Hurts a little bit, because you see the narrative in the chat right now. We can't hold up. You can't sign that guy. He's never going to be around in 5 years because of the style of football that he plays. If he wins yesterday, that narrative's not there, because it can't be there, because he did it. Like, he cashed it in. But that sticks with them. But that's part of the process, and that's why the Super Bowl's great, because it's such a legacy game.
And you know what? Like, he's used to it. It seems like there's certain people in life, and I include myself there, that's something, and until you figure it out, is like you got to do it the hard way for it to stick in, right? And for whatever reason, because he's resilient. He's going to come back. I'm not worried about it. But to that point, right? I mean, he is only like, what, 220 compared. He's not like Cam Newton. So the physicality will wear it down. You can say the same thing about Mahomes, right? Like, these guys, the durability still, because they're getting hit by big. Now the guys on the other side are 300 plus that are just slightly a little bit slower. Just a little bit, Neal. And if they take the right angle on you, you're schmucked. And you go down wrong.
Have you noticed one hit? How many ankles get rolled up on from behind for these quarterbacks, man?
Yeah. All the time. And that's the one. It's not the one that with the big collision. It's the one that, accidentally rolled up on, or, you look at Mahomes, it doesn't even matter because he didn't watch. He's smart. He wasn't watching, but when Mahomes got rolled up on at the end of the first half.
Wait a minute.
Right?
I did watch that. I watched
Oh, wait,
most
well, now
of the
you're
game.
lying to me.
No,
it must have been after 8 o'clock.
I watched most of the game, but the thing is, when it comes to physicality and Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts had an opportunity. If they win that game, he's a Super Bowl MVP. And with Patrick Mahomes...
of course, he broke a record.
Yes, I don't know if he's going to be a guy that plays 15 to 20 years, but Patrick Mahomes will, if he retired today, would walk straight into the Hall of Fame. And in my opinion, he's the best quarterback who ever lived and the third greatest, right after Tom Brady and Joe Montana already.
But there's no debate what the greatest energy drink out there is right now. Cintron. Cintron World's an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages and premium bottled water. Cintron is fashionable, functional, and fun if you want premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and, of course, great taste. You get it all. Cintron is the top choice. You can buy online at drinkcintron.com. If you're about that Amazon life, Cintron also available on Amazon. Get that Prime rolling up to your front porch there. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. Our own Ryan Ermanni has begun his jersey with Custom Health Centers. Down 15 pounds, you can be next. They have over 20,000 success stories. They help many former professional athletes as well. Pro Bowl MVP, Eddie Murray, place kicker, that's right. Rick Mahorn, we were talking about Rick earlier. You caught him in the Super Bowl commercial with D-Mac. He's down over 50 pounds. D-Mac looked great, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Looked great.
No doubt. And, you know, the one thing I was thinking about Custom Health, too, is some people don't start their resolutions or want to get till after the Super Bowl. And yesterday, one of the biggest food days. So now if you want to say, hey, I want to take a few off, or maybe like Ryan, I heard him earlier say that he might have put a few on yesterday. He was at the feed bag, the buffet. So if you want to put the work in, Custom Health will help you get ahead of it right now, just like it's helped those guys.
Yep, go to CustomHealthCenters.com. It's Custom Health Centers. Begin your journey today. Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. Yes, the red Corvette is here. It is available. They have like, what do you call that, like a plum over here Corvette? They got twin Corvettes here in the showroom. So if that's your fancy, come on out. Sam Flannel just bought a Chevy Trax earlier last week, so whatever you need, they got you
I agree
covered.
with everybody in the chat thread. You know, it's saying that D-Mac, you should be driving around town, in that sport and that Feldman. I said, well, wait till the summer comes. It's not really Corvette winter time right now, but that is. I'll put a black and white stripe on that. It'll be D-Mac colors, but maybe further down the road on a nicer day when I can throw the golf clubs in the back. I got to make sure, the clubs and everything, clubs, hockey bags, stuff can fit in, and we'll see what we can do.
And we slide up to Red Run after a show or something like that, right?
We're over near the tails. We can slide into Cattails. We're near the brook. Go over to Meadowbrook and slap her around there.
we could do that. Real Cream of Wheat says, quit lying, Neal. You already put a deposit for it. I would have paid cash.
No, he's got that one.
Yeah.
The Moker.
I would have paid cash.
He's waiting for the call back from his wife. What did he tell you earlier? Conversations need to be had.
Right.
And he's not. No, he's going to the fourth furnace. He's not giving in for the car. Are Corvettes your style? Because Corvette's my favorite.
That's what your thing?
That's my thing.
Not really.
You don't have to be.
Yeah,
don't lie to
really.
the people, Neal.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying more for me. Keep your eyes peeled.
Anyways,
what else is red?
Yeah. I'd be more like the Chevy Tahoe, like the kind of like the luxury
but that's
SUV.
a truck.
The
you
luxury
have a truck
SUV.
and a car, Neal, with the bags that you're driving around.
Whatever the chauffeur's more comfortable driving. That's
there it is.
That's what I'm for the people. You know what I'm saying? I want to make people's jobs easier. Rack says Neal shows up tomorrow at home. Honey, look what I got us for Valentine's Day. LOL. There's room for both of us. Two-seater. Absolutely. It's just as much, yours as it is mine. D-Mac Red Wings get a win over Vancouver. Kind of weird they have a home-and-home with Vancouver. But that is the case. They're going out there tonight. They'll be playing late night. I think it's a safe bet. If you have Neal not making it to the end of that game tonight, you're going to have to lay minus 795 because there's no chance I'm making it to the end of that one tonight. But nonetheless, they continue to tease, right?
Well, they went back-to-back. Obviously, the little 3-game homestand after lost to Edmonton, but came out, won a game against Calgary last Thursday with your boy Zadina back in the lineup after breaking his leg. And he's back early 2 weeks, which shows a lot about the work that he's put in getting rewarded. And then coming out on Saturday and really just from the drop of the puck, that's one of the more complete 60-minute games consistent that I've seen. So now it doesn't get any easier. It's always tough traveling west. Expect Vancouver to be a lot tougher tonight in their home building. But again, we've always had success back in the day there, and it's what are I talking about? It's the wave we're riding this year. So it's another time. It's like, okay, here we go, buckle in, because this could happen. So they're playing that West Coast trip. They're on a 10-dayer. But this is where you make hay, where you're not expected to make ground or to do things. They got games in hand. But coming off this road trip, if they can forbid, come out of here with 7-8 points, I mean, which is, tough to do in this league, but they put you. That's why you can't say they're out of it yet. Because if they go on this road trip, which no one expects them to, and they put some wins together, we'll see.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. People asking, Trans Am with a trailer hitch says, can the Wings make it to the 8th spot? I still wouldn't, quote, bet on that per se.
Can they? Yes, absolutely.
There's a path.
The math is there, and there's a path there. Does it? But it's storms. There's no sunny skies, or there's no the skies aren't blue where you're sailing. It's rough waters all the way there, rougher than most. Why? Because the schedule is condensed, right? Because you're playing almost by the math every other night, right? So you gotta avoid the injuries. The fact that they are getting healthy, and other than Jake Wallman missing the game the other day, and going out and they got to persevere through this stuff. But again, at this time, you look at the play of Dylan Larkin, who, if you want to be betting on yourself with the season that he's having and staying hot, what we saw at the All-Star break was something that sort of sparked him and didn't hold him back. So, he's showing why I believe that everything should get done. And I think that's the one thing, too, is there's so much up for grabs, Neal, as far as what's going to happen for us as fans that we want to know. And I know this in saying we trust the guy in charge and Stevie, but it's the unknown. But until then, just go along for the ride and enjoy it. And if you can stay up longer than Neal, watch the game. Or if you're like Sam Flannel and it's too nerve-wracking, pick it up in the morning.
Yeah, again, when you start getting to it, though, and I know that there's games at hand and everything like that, it's just the number of teams that are in front of them. Stupid Buffalo will not go away. And in the last 10 games, the Red Wings have lost ground to Buffalo. That's how well Buffalo's been playing. But it's not even, so you can't, all you got to do is look up. All you got to look up, forget all the teams around you. You need to be in the situations, the Ottawa, the Buffaloes, all these teams, they're going to fight. They're not going to go away. So all you got to do is worry about yourself. Right? And how you're playing, not what other teams are doing. Put your head down, dig deep, right? Just keep looking at what is it Pittsburgh that's got the second wild card? Where are you with them? Games in hand, points, stuff like that. They're the tough one. You don't look at the ships around you in the race. Yeah. Right? You look at the finish line. Pittsburgh's the tough one because you only have one game in hand.
So let's just wait. Yeah. Do yourself a favor and wait until the last 2 weeks of the season and then reassess.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I don't know how everyone got on my license plate, but here we are. Neal's license plate, I was told. I do like that one.
That should be
I was told. That would be pretty sweet. You can dump the O and it would fit. Neal's license plate, 2 furnaces, FRNCS. That one works as well. Spenmo Wax My Face, draft cap. I do like that one also. No-Go Blue. That's a pretty funny one.
Rule breaker.
Yeah. Grizz for you. I don't know. Get right with the 3 with the E. That's it too. I got to get more cars.
Signs.
I got to get more cars.
Get right. Well, that's why we're here. You can add.
What was that, Stick? What? I don't know. That might not. Right. It says, of course, right now. Of course. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. For anybody that's ever listened. Mountain West, MTN West. That one would be pretty cool too. Factual. Hey. Man, you guys are on it. Tammy Chin says, just sit back and enjoy the ride. No, and Tammy, you're right? Like, you are right. And we've been dead a couple of times, and they've come back from the dead, and that's fine. So
you got to see more consistent.
Yeah,
right?
but that's improvement.
More
though.
consistency in the win column. But you know what? When they start putting the puck in the net and they get rewarded, and you got guys like Johnny Bergers, scoring a couple goals in the power play working. Yes, when they're finding a way to put the puck back in the net, get your guy Kubalik going if he's in the lineup, get Prong going again, and these guys that have cooled off, and the whole season it's going to happen. So they're still right there. I wouldn't count them out.
No, and the moral of the story is, like, the bottom line through all of it is they are an improved team. You could see it. It's tangible. They came back from the dead. They weren't buried by January 8th. I thought they were for a minute, but they weren't. They came back, and we'll see how it all plays out. I do have some questions for you that I know you don't want to answer, and you probably don't want to discuss. The Verana thing.
Yep.
He's ripping it up in Grand Rapids right now. 6 goals, 7 games, whatever. What you love to see. Why isn't he up here? Your best guess. Obviously, it's the decision. My best guess, something that's above all of our pay grades. that has to do with something that we don't know. That eventually, like I always say, it will eventually come out when it's dealt with. But there's a good reason for it. I don't know what it is. So do I say this is probably, what does it lean to? This seems more personal than it is business, or the fact that he had been out for as long, and they're letting him, permeate, I guess. But to me, it might be something deeper than that. But we'll find out in the what. There's a valuable asset, right? Coming up again. I'll go back to, let's just wait till the trade deadline and see what happens. But we'll wait and see. Not that anybody that you're going to trade him, but I would expect that something would be done, wouldn't it, Neal, like salary-wise or whatever, by the trade deadline, or if not, moving forward, if you're not going to use them. Because, yeah, we all can agree, so talented and could use his goals, and obviously that's what we're lacking up here. But, again, sometimes it's bigger than just what you see on the ice. Well, and he's saying all the right stuff, too, because he
right,
mentioned
maybe it's just proof more than that of commitment.
He said he wants to be here,
so
like
maybe
long-term.
It's more than just getting his ice game back on. It's his off-ice commitment, right? And making sure, because and I say this in a positive way of not putting too much pressure on him immediately as you're going through personal issues. And I'll speak from experience, right? You wanted to go through it. What's the sense in rushing him right now? Well, obviously the pros and the cons that is weighed by the teams, that the team that they have and the guys that they have at health, they'd rather see, and let him get confidence and be down there to come back and prove that commitment day in and day out. So he's saying the right things and doing all the things that he can control. So let's wait and see how it plays out.
Because it's interesting, because Tammy Chin said if Mr. Yzerman was going to bring him back, I feel like he would have by now, and that's kind of where I am with it.
I don't think so, because here's the whole thing. Why are you rushing? Because it's not an injury thing; it's a mental health issue, right? So the game, a lot of the time, the game reflects the off ice, right? Like, as far as if you're feeling good as a human being and good about yourself, well, that's what I see, the comfortability, and now he's getting back up to game shape and productivity. I would have expected if it was a regular injury, but this is something to do, with the mental health and the substance abuse and stuff like this, and so a little bit extra time doesn't hurt. So maybe that would have been the case, but again, it goes down to who's calling the shots, and the shot caller's saying no, not now, not yet.
Yeah. And then obviously too, we'll keep an eye on the Dylan Larkin stuff. March 3rd, right?
Yes.
March 3rd is the deadline.
Sounds good.
So that's when we'll get some answers. But it is funny though with this team, man. Every Monday we roll in here and I'm like, okay, D-Mac, we got to reassess and see where we are again. And then they'll lose. Like, here's how it'll go. just off experience. They'll lose tonight, like 5-1. I'll get pissed and say I'm done talking about them, and it's over. And then they'll win the next 2 games out west.
They got no chance in Edmonton. Yeah. And they go in, they ransack Edmonton like they came in.
Yeah.
No, it's this. Just go for the ride. Step in, step out.
What about this one real quick from Mike G? Can we get a first-round pick for Bertuzzi?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how the market goes. I look at you. Can we? Is that what a market for that is, or is that, like,
typically?
Would you? Hey, Mike, I countered that question with a question, Mike. Would you take a first-round pick for Bertuzzi?
Well, I would say this, Mike. If I were a team that was interested in acquiring Bertuzzi, why would I give you a first-round pick when I can get him for no first-round pick in 4 months?
Or do I want to sign and trade? Because I want to lock it up and nobody else could have him. He's worth a first rounder, so I get first option. It's just sort of like the sign and trade.
But you're going to walk into that done already. You know what I'm saying? Like that will
if they
happen
do the
behind.
trade.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that because that's your guy, so you're fast. You're expediting the free agent, the beginning of free agency.
Yeah. Lions Planet. Don't trade Larkin. We're coming down. We're not there yet, but I'll give Stevie Y this, man. All he's done is further my admiration.
You're a poker
for
player.
Them. 100%. I love it.
What's he got?
Well,
what's his hand? You don't know.
I know he's got the hammer, though. He's got the leverage. You know what I'm saying?
But he's Phil
the
Ivey.
boss. Yes.
Like, even when you think somebody says, I've seen his cards, he's got deuce 7. You still don't believe it because he's not playing it like that.
I just don't. I just love that he's not just giving it to you because you're from here or you're the captain or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is
everything is calculated.
Everything is strictly done on value. There is no, can we say this? There's no emotion.
Yes, and different things are of value. So what does Stevie value? Because here's the thing. You might pull out and go, oh, here's a questionnaire. Here's a regular questionnaire. There's the same old questions. Steve Yzerman goes, here's your questionnaire. And he's like, I've never seen these questions before. And he goes, yeah, you've never met me. I'm Steve Yzerman. It's my questionnaire.
I just love that there's no emotion. Like, that's the sense I get.
And that's why he's such an assassin, because he doesn't have that emotion. At the end of the day, but he has the emotion, but the emotion never gets involved.
Right.
It's always the right, like a Phil Ivey or poker. There's no emotion involved. It's either it's either right or wrong in the decision of what his plan is, because he knows what he wants.
Well,
we don't know his plan. That's why it's harder. He lets us know on his time, not when we want.
Right. If you're thinking about lunch, though, there's one thing that is right, 100%
of course,
right.
And that is Cousins Maine Lobster, because Woodward Sports loves lobster. And what better way to get your fix than Cousins Maine Lobster? With 2 trucks rolling around Detroit, you can be sure to find the best lobster rolls, lobster tots, and lobster tacos to power through the day. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com to find the schedule.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Woodward Sports. This part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
What's up, guys? Guardian Alarm. Let us offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians that take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call the number today, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed, because what is important to you is important to them. But I need you to call the number 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Yes, people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people that have been proven to care. Even this guy who owns Mondays today, the Patrick Mahomes lover, he's feeling it. Flannel protection, whether it's sleeves or no sleeves, how many straight days?
212.
212 straight days of flannel protection for that guy, Sam Flannel. If you want that type of personal or business protection, please give Guardian Alarm a call. Here's the number, 1-800.
Stay out of the Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles. Hold this L.
And they did. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them Big D Energy we called. He's a grave stomper, bro.
Oh,
He's
back
a grave
at it here,
stomper.
Big D
He
Energy.
likes to go back around and stomp on the grave.
Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel. We got Stick out here as well. Stick just has a look of disgust on his face. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They got the Corvettes here, the EVs, whatever your flavor is, whatever you're looking for. Come on out here. They'll get it done. They had Sam Flannel in and out in 3 hours with this new car.
What color?
It's silver.
Nice.
Very family friendly.
Yes. I've never had any illusions that I'm cool in any way, shape, or form. I just do what it gets the job done.
Second. Nice.
Yeah.
Silver.
Yeah, just good enough.
Yeah.
Hey, what about the turf, huh? What about the turf out there in Arizona?
A lot. I mean, there were
Just like
people
Michigan.
Oh, was that one of the excuses?
I got another one, though. But how about Arizona's hosted Super Bowls? Like, do they have, like, arguably 3 of the top 5 best Super Bowl finishes, right? They got the Giants game with the catch by Terrell. They got the Malcolm Butler stance against Seattle, and then they got this game. Like, as far as if you want to go, what building's got great juju? That building. Bad field, great juju.
All I know is next year it's in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
That's all I know. The boys and I are discussing. We gonna make that commitment to get out there for that. I want to. I just got a feeling, man. It's gonna be
we just
insane.
have to. So now you put the ball in motion, work around it. Like, how are we gonna figure out how to make that happen?
Yeah.
For the week, Stick.
I don't have a week of Vegas in me. No, nobody does.
3 days.
Nobody does. Real quick, in case you missed it yesterday, the James Wiseman trade finally went through with the NBA. The Golden State Warriors agreed to take Gary Payton II. So that is happening. They're saying James Wiseman's going to go right into the lineup. He's going to start. He's at the 5. Jalen Duren's at the 4, and away they go.
What do you think of that? You like this?
Yeah, I mean, you got
I like
him,
the
right?
fact
Like-
that Troy Weaver, as I've been known as a Wiseman fan, you're going to give a guy, maybe it's a new look and an opportunity, but does this make them better right away? Did you like the deal?
You know what I liked about it? And at first I was like, I don't know. But then hearing Troy Weaver talk about it, and it made a lot of sense. What's the East? Like, I know everybody focuses on Golden State all the time, but they're kind of the outlier.
They're a West team, though.
In the East, how are these teams constructed in the East?
Big man.
Big,
the Embiid,
physical.
The Embiid.
Giannis, big, long.
Giannis, yeah.
Milwaukee's can be a physical team. Boston.
Yeah, physical. They're they're not huge, but they're physical, right? Like, yeah, you need size, right? And also too, I look at it also too. Is he still young? Is he considered young?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So you look at 2 big guys in him and Darren, right, growing together. A lot of times we see that small guys. And I mean small guys in the positions, the shooters or the point guards we always talk about. There's a plethora of them. But the big guys sort of been put out. But if you got 2 guys pushing each other in practice, I mean, I know from our team back in the day, we made each other better. So it's interesting. What can you lose, though, right, Neal? What's there to lose? So to me, it's like
if you weren't going to re-sign Bay.
You knew what Sadiq Bey was.
Right.
Give him the opportunity to know what he was. Sam Flannel broke it down when you weren't here last week pretty good, is that's what it is. At least you don't know what the ceiling is, and at the end of the day, are you really out anything?
No. And here's the narrative that I keep hearing. Brandon says Detroit has to choose between Wiseman and Duren. They can't play both at the same time. Why?
Why?
Sam Flannel, why?
I kind of feel like what they do well are sort of different because Jalen Duren, obviously, he's proven to be quite the rim protector, rebounder, shot blocker. He had a damn good game against San Antonio's G League team, but still probably one of the best games of the season. James Wiseman, to me, is a little bit more athletic, can run the floor, is more of a pick and roll, pick and pop kind of guy. I don't necessarily, and he's not nearly the defender that Jalen Darren is. I mean, at this point, Cleveland plays Jared Allen and Evan Mobley together, and you talk about Milwaukee, not just Giannis, Brook Lopez, he's emerged. And then you got Embiid, you even have Robert Williams in Boston. I mean, there's a lot of big men that you need to account for in the East. And now you've got 2 7-footers, and Jalen Duren's already done some really good things in Detroit. James Wiseman actually had an okay rookie year when he was healthy. He's just been hurt and fallen out of the rotation. I don't know. I don't see that big of a risk.
Wait, Sam, you just laid out and explained what Troy Weaver did exactly. Every other team's got 2 bigs. Right. You just named 6 teams in the East that had 2 bigs? Now we got 2 bigs. Name 7. Yeah. We're in on it. But that's the way it is, right? It ain't the high-flying, you're looking out west.
They're the outlier. Like, we see Golden State, and we think that's the way that it is.
Maybe not the outliers so much in the West. They're more built. Everybody's got to play catch-up out there. But the East game is different.
Right. So I don't have a huge problem with it. And, it's one of those things for me. You throw him out there at the 4 and at the 5, and you go to work with it because Jalen Duren's shown what he is.
Going to work Pistons again? Whoa, did you just drop that?
Well, what else is there, right? Like that's
right.
Hey,
that's
here's exactly
here's
the
thing that I'll be looking for. What are the points against? Do they at least come down? Because at least, it can't hurt. Maybe there's something that you see a little differently that you can actually make a stop somewhere, sometime in the whole game.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what it is. And he kind of laid it out, and I do agree with what he had to say. I also agree, we were talking about lunch options. What about the comfort food angle? You could do that with Big Boy, because wintertime in Detroit's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the classic meatloaf or the Cajun chicken Alfredo. What about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, or the Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Catch. Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning. You'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club. Get all the best deals. They'll beat all the competitors by at least $5. You can pick up all the top of the line beauty lotions as well. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Find out which one of the 27 locations works best for you. Chili Peppers Tanning, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest hands. They are your vitamin D headquarters. It's Chili Peppers Tanning, y'all.
Chili Pepper Tan.
Yay. Final segment of the show here live. Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They're awesome as always. Got the Corvettes here on display, EVs, family cars as well. You want an SUV like Sam Flannel got on Wednesday. He got it in and out of here in 3 hours. Think about that. Let that sink in.
That's very, very good for a car dealership, by the way. It sounds like a long time. It's not.
No, certainly not.
Not with all the background checks they had to do on you, but jeez.
Real quickly, too, this just came across the new college basketball AP poll released. Alabama, your new #1. Purdue goes to #3. Tell me more about the Big Ten this year in basketball, please. Tell me more.
Hey, I will say this. It makes Michigan's road win at Northwestern look a little better, but I don't want to talk about Michigan basketball. I was heated on Saturday. What a meltdown.
This could have been such a great route for Big D Energy Monday if Philly would have won. He would have just been crushed, soul crushed. Yes. But instead, we're going to let him ride out in the sunset. He deserves it.
Absolutely. Flannel Sam's chest hair, a big topic of discussion.
I was just wondering
as
what
well.
the answer was. Right, because in the chat thread, who said it, but it said Sam Flannel's chest hair reminds me of Don Brown's defense at Michigan. So I said, what is it, patchy? What is it, suspect? What is it, like, what is the proper term that we're looking for? Am I on the right path, though?
Spenmo wax my face, says Flannel Sam's chest hair looks like Robin Williams' Harry's knuckles. That's accurate. That's accurate.
Another suspect. I'm glad I can't see it through the monitor. I mean, I'm glad there's no monitor out here. So
Real Cream of Wheat says these
is.
close-ups are killing me.
Hey, from that looks like you're like in the jungle or something. You came out of the jungle with that look there.
The show just simply says Jesus.
Hey, you might want to hit some Chili Peppers tan. They might be able to help you out there.
Fair.
Yeah. I don't know. Never trust a dude without chest hair. Now people are saying you don't have very good chest hair, so they're going back and forth.
I don't think he cares. Patrick Mahomes is the guy on this day.
Yep.
In Sam's world.
It is Sam's world. Dirty Dr. D says Flannel Sam looks like Razor Ramon.
I will give him a little baby Razor
Give it
Ramon.
to me one more time, Stick. Yeah, I do. I do. Because it is.
Hey, yo.
Hoof-Hearted says my iPhone is going to melt from all of these close-ups. So good work. Good on you, Stick. And, it is a big...
Oh, there it is.
It does look like
yeah,
Razor
I can
Ramon.
see that. Hey, yo.
Detroit Dabber says, imagine looking in the mirror and deciding you need just one more necklace to complete the look.
Hey, you know what's funny? Hey, there you go. I rock it too. I got like 3 on. I get it, Sam.
Lots of Razor Ramon love in the chat thread, so certainly that is cool too. Any final takeaways, D-Mac?
No, I mean, like I said, I think the biggest takeaway is how entertained for such a long day, and usually something that you expect going into a big game or a big fight. You expect it to be as good as it was, and it delivered on all fronts from the anthem right to the end. So, again, KC deserves the props.
No, absolutely. And Patrick
Hats
Mahomes
off to the barbecue.
He's back to
barbecue
being him.
Beat the Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah, yes, it did. He's back to being him. Yes, 10 o'clock start for the Red Wings tonight in Vancouver. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. I won't see you on the other side. I'll be there for the beginning.
Any vibe about this game or whatever? Or do you think it's like, in all reality, I think it's going to be, okay, here we go along. They go out there and they lose 4-2 or 5-2, whatever, back on this, just like you laid it down or blow it out or whatever. But what if they do win? I mean, I think it's underway. Like this, you know how you get some momentum, and I'm sure it's like from all the sports you cover or whatever, but you see and you're wondering, oh, is this the momentum? Is this the game that will kickstart them and going? I look at second half of the season, right? The way that they were able to come back and win 2 out of the 3 games on this homestand, this could be that moment. Always looking for spots. And again, might not be.
Absolutely. Well, hey, appreciate Stick and all his work and everything, getting us set up out here and being on the 1s and 2s. Sam Flannel, just thank you for being you.
All right. Thank you for being you, both of you.
No problem. So for D-Mac, Darren McCarty, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.